So welcome, my name is Radmila Ustych and I'm from InnovaWood. And today we will be discussing how in the furniture sector, which is viewed as a really industry that relies on handicraft and on manufacturing processes. In the last year, this sector has been seeing growing digital technologies and has been embracing the digital technologies. And so the companies and the whole sector has to keep up with the increasing technological transformation, which is a challenging task for us, and not everyone is quite used to fully embracing the technologies, and many efforts have been applied to make also the teaching and learning in the furniture and wood sector more effective and available for everyone, but also more attractive and sparkling interest of students and also adult learners. So in the next 2.5 hours, me and some very interesting speakers will show you several tools that contribute to conveying the knowledge about the furniture industry to young generation and to adult learners in an interesting way. And we also hope to show you and discuss with you what are the success factors that contribute to the education going digital, and how we as the schools, as industry, as support organizations, as university can make the best use of the area of possibilities available out there. So you will get to learn several stories presented to you by InnovaWood, by CITEM, by Karlsruhe Institute of Technologies, by Styrian Technological Park. And that was the first aim of our meeting, or the first part of our agenda. Let's say the main course of our today's lunch. But then we also have a dessert coming in a way that we want to hear back from you. We would like to start a discussion with you, hearing what do you think, how these freely available online digital tools, if they are of any use for you, and how they can be used and mainstreamed into the learning and teaching. So we hope to have enough time for a good discussion. This was a quick overview of the agenda, and we can't wait to start. I will start by introducing myself. My name is Radmila Ustych. I'm representing InnovaWood, which is a major European network in the forestry, woodworking, and furniture sector. It is quite big. It has 60 members in 28 countries from all around Europe. Many of our members are active in field of research, education, training, and knowledge transfer in the entire value chain, starting from forestry and wood processing to construction, to furniture industry, and to also bioeconomy. We support our members in different ways in promoting the wider impact of wood as the most renewable raw material. We support our members in applying to new projects and to disseminating the scientific and research results wider. I'll introduce the speakers as they come onto scene, but I would like also to see who you are and where you are coming from. And I would like to suggest that you type in the chat your name and the institution you are coming from. Because we are quite a large group today, and to save the time for a long introduction, we will still have the possibility to talk to each other during the second part of the program. So please, I'll be happy to see your name and your institution you're coming from in the chat. And because today the topic is quite nice, we will be talking about the attractiveness of the tools that we use in online and e-learning. Let me also introduce to you or propose to you the Encouraging Sunrise Bingo. I'll ask my colleague, Patricia, to put in the chat to link to the bingo card. You know how the bingo game works. During today's conversation, as soon as you hear, for example, word gamification, you cross out the card. And so it goes. And while you cover all cards in one line, so 5 cards in one line, then you win. So you can cross out the horizontal line, the vertical line, or diagonal line. And as soon as you do that, please put bingo in chat and your name next to it, of course, so that we know who won. And yeah, actually, this is the first time that we are trying out this bingo online version of it. So I hope it goes well. Let's try to do it. And with this, I would like to encourage you to be active today and to have an informal and engaging discussion. Thank you very much. Again, for the ones who joined us at this moment, please put your name and institution into the chat so we can have a small introduction of who we are. Please be aware that the stream is recorded and you will get the recording later. And yes. Hi, Marci, nice to see you in the chat. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to go through the chat if possible and giving the presentation at the same time. So I'll start with presenting you the online e-learning course named Furniture Careers, Virtual Factory Walk from A to Z as a result of a Sunrise project. And I start by this kind of picture. What do you think it is? This is how a typical room of a college student would look like. Now, they are born into it. Students, they really love games and they can spend hours and hours if the game is engaging. Now, still today, traditional teaching techniques still rely on blackboards, on oral lectures, a lot, books, written exercises as a main tool to transmit knowledge. However, we all know that the technological process of today brought some new possibilities to teach and educate, such as using simulation tools and other gamified elements, which can spice up the curiosity of the students. And the research also shows, you all know that, I don't have to tell you that the games have a great potential to improve learning experience and learning outcomes. Because games, unlike the traditional educational materials, can deliver information on demand and the information within context, the one you're looking for. And additional gamification elements in the course is a great way of taking the boredom away or out of learning. So in our project, we wanted to prove that education and games or game elements or entertainment then can go hand in hand together as much as students and games go together. So 2.5 years have gone by since 7 partner organizations have embarked upon a journey dedicated to introduce gamification into wood sector in the project called Encouraging Sunrise, or encouraging training skills in the furniture and woodworking industries through an innovative simulation-based approach. The project has been coordinated by Poznan University and represented by key players in wood, in furniture, like associations, like Tenfim from Spain, like technological organization, training organization, CITEM, like educational training institutions, as I mentioned, Poznan University, also SITLEAD, Association of Wood Processing Companies from Poland, and learning and training providers like GlobalNet and UniCert from Poland and from Spain. And also the InnovaWood network for wood and forestry research. So the Encouraging Sunrise project builds on the needs of companies in the wood and furniture industry that are coming up and explores the use of gamification, learning environment, and introduces gamification to the wood and furniture sector training. And in the duration of our project, we've started from collecting the data from various furniture companies throughout Europe to see what kinds of skills are needed in education and industry. And we came up with a list of the transversal skills that the companies in industry think will be needed today. Based on these needs, we have defined the training path of our learning course and the methodology. And we were working out on the online tool based on gamified learning elements adapted to the real environment of the companies. And we have come up with a course that we call a virtual factory walk, which give a glimpse of various furniture careers that you can undertake while working in a furniture company. What is interesting in the course that you can step in the shoes of a furniture company manager, and by undertaking some tasks and acquiring some new skills, you grow from a trainee to the boss. So how do we actually did that in the learning course? Now, please meet Steve. Steve is your guide in the training course. Steve is happy to give you the hand when you need it, or when you are searching after a hint, and he leads you around the training course. However, Steve cannot give you answers because we want to see how much you know. And so we want that you figure out the answers yourself. The gamification concept of a Sunrise learning course is structured around an imaginative company with the name Sunrise Furniture Company. It's an imaginative furniture factory which is producing various types of furniture, including cabinet furniture, skeleton furniture, and some upholstered elements as well. So your role as a player is to gradually gain knowledge how to produce these kind of furniture elements and maintain a company and become a boss. So you start from being a trainee, then they have a module on a regular operator, a manager, and if you complete the tasks in a good way, then you receive a badge and you can grow to the board member and you can become a boss. And you always be supported by Steve and his colleagues. And that's how the modules on the e-learning course look like. In fact, you as a player have a chance to complete tasks regarding technical knowledge, but also train some soft skills that are crucial for the cooperation environment and management of the company. So this is how we see the learning outcomes as a combined outcome, looking at both technical skills and soft skills. And you can start with the random models. You can start the model doing the tasks for the cabinet furniture operator, for example, or manager right away. However, we recommend that you follow this scenario path, and we recommend that you still start with a trainee section. Then you do the tasks as a regular worker, and then a manager, and then probably if you're successful, then a board member finally. In order to do or to make the course more engaging, we have added some fun and interesting elements and gamified it by adding points, badges, levels, leaderboards, challenges, and they seem so all these conventional gamification elements that you can also see in other courses. What I would like to emphasize here is that using gamification in an educational course doesn't mean that you'll be turning your course content into one giant game. Think of gamification as of a design element. You can add game elements to some small pieces of structure, the course structure, just to engage students. Because it's a great way of taking the boredom away of learning and turning the training into totally different lives. So let's have a quick look at the course elements. We start with the module of a trainee. You literally start sweeping the floor at the furniture factory. You learn how the working machines are located in the production hall. You learn the stages of furniture manufacturing processes. You learn the naming of elements and the machines. You recognize the materials that are used in production. There are two modules actually which are called trainees, because one is trainee in skeleton furniture, one is trainee in cabinet furniture. They are slightly different, but both have tasks in material processing. So here on the screen, you can see the examples, some of the tasks that you've been given. For example, this is a drag and drop exercise where you have to identify the parts in the construction of upholstery furniture element. And you will always get a feedback report. Like here on the screen, you can see in green, these are the correct answers of yours, and obviously red are not correct. So as a trainee, you go around the factory and you are given some certain set of tasks. Again, another example is here that you choose the right order of the production phases, or which of them are the production phases, which are not. As a trainee, you're actually helping hands around to the operator. Here's another example of the task where Steve comes into scene and is saying that, oops, the wind, or oops, the boxes fell from the shelf. Please help us to put them in order and name them properly. Now, when you completed your training tasks, you can be promoted to the operator or to the regular worker. In here, in two modules which address regular worker tasks, you then get to learn about the tools, about the machinery setting, and then already taking into consideration some material properties. For example, the sewing speed of the machines, the milling speed, the rotation speed. You also look into like in this example. So this section or these modules are much more based on video material. Video material comes from real factory settings provided by our partners from Spain and from Poland. So in fact, the tasks in the Sunrise Furniture learning course, they look like we don't have handbooks or presentation materials. The student is immediately faced with a task. First, he has so it's kind of a flipped classroom. First, you do a task, then you receive a feedback from Steve, or you got to watch a short video, so you better understand the process. And you can retake the task as many times as you wish. And here, this example, the task is addressing the packaging. Or, for example, in the next task, here we are looking at the, first we have to look at the videos explaining how the sending is done, whether it's automatic or maybe it's manual sending, because not for all products the sending can be done in an automatic way. And you are then answering the question about the sandpaper granulation number. Now, congratulations, you have fulfilled the operator module, and now you don't have dust on your shoulders anymore. Now that you are a manager, you would have to care about workers and their health and safety conditions. So now the player has to take measures, for example, to schedule the production, to make a good planning, to master the company resource and material planning, to perform quality assessments, and so on. So now we go more into the planning and managing skills. We have a set of scenarios also facing up the player. For example, you would receive a phone call and you would have to solve the problem that arises in the company, and you would have to look a bit into the economic side of the company. For example, like in this assignment, where you look into how efficient company is operating, what are the key factors of success, or for example, in your warehouse is growing and you would have to plan buying new transport machines, and you are going to do that in a good way. You have to understand the machines and which ones to buy. Here is another example of a task that a manager would have to solve. It's an interesting one. It's the way you want to organize your production hall in a good way. Now that you went through all the modules of a trainee, of an operator, and of the manager of the company, and if you have successfully passed them through, and you have received at least one badge, no, 2 badges, now you are going to use all your skills, not only technical skills, but soft skills, to make decisions that influence a lot more people. You are going now to deal with company suppliers, and with news releases from industry, you would have to read a newspaper or an email with interesting changes that might affect your company or your product. The tasks you are going to deal with are, for example, with dealing with sustainable production or circular production, or you are dealing with an invention patent. Or supplier has sent you an email, for example, about the company that is producing a competitor of yours that has produced a similar product, and how you are going to deal with a trademark patent. And as I said, there are several also scenarios that you are affected, or you go and in the corridor you would bump into a person who confronts you with a question. In that particular case, this is about risk assessment and the earthquake. So this was a quick overview of the main modules that we have in the Sunrise learning course named Furniture Factory from A to Z, with a special focus on various furniture careers. And we have one bonus module that we decided to add as well. We called it a virtual walk through a production hall. So in this virtual environment, you have the possibility to walk through, and by clicking the elements, you would see what kind of machine is there. By clicking on the video, the machine will be working. And also, particularly, I would like to mention that this module also has is in different languages. So it's not only in English, it's in Polish, in Spanish, in Greek, and in French. So the machines are also named in these languages. And what kind of gamification elements we have been using with the buttons, like the badges, the leaderboards, the quests, the points, which I already mentioned. You can see all these kinds of gamification buttons throughout the e-learning course. Because we believe that competition, as I mentioned several times, is a huge boredom killer, whether it's in an online course or an online game. And through these points and ranking system, the students are able to compete with one another. So, for example, when a student sees the colleague or the dropping on a leaderboard, it may be pushing them to meet the challenge presented by the fellow students, and maybe to also move up. This is also a good opportunity to build the sense of a community in the classroom. So to use this online tool for a classroom assignment. In ideal world, students will motivate each other and use this ranking system to build engagement and conversation. For each choice made, we receive the feedback. As I mentioned, we have the progress bars. Right here on the screen, you would see some badges. They are real. They come from my account. So as you can see, I'm on my way to board member, but it's a long way to go. It's only 2% of the tasks fulfilled. I'm doing better off with the trainee level. Well, the questions are not always easy at some time for me, so I'm still there. So in the e-learning course, you would have to look at various buttons like that, like progress bars, like you would be looking for a badge. Important to mention is that you can retake the tasks as many times as you want. And there are several tasks that give you more points. For example, when we were piloting the course with the students, they already mentioned that you have more points for the number of logins. And they were logging in, logging out several times to get more points. Well, this is also a way to do it. You can see your progress, and the more active you are, the more points you are going to get. So not only knowledge is awarded during gamification experience, but also your persistence, your continuity in learning process. And if you're an active user, you can increase your points. As I said, for each given task, you can get, you can retake it as many times as you want to get more points. And then the system sums up your attempts and take it to the leaderboard. And you can see here on the screen who are on the highest score by particular modules, for example, in manager module or as a board manager module. But then you have a top 10. And after having at least 2 badges or completing 2 courses, then you can move on to become a boss. As I mentioned, we are at the final stage of designing this online platform. We have been testing it with the students from Spain and from Poland. 67 students participating in this Palestine exercise. It's interesting to hear what they think of the course. First of all, the feedback from students in terms of the layouts, the duration of the course, and the format, and how easy it was to give the answers was very positive. They were very satisfied with how it is designed. It's interesting that we also get a response about difficulty of working in English for the students in Poland, in Spain. So it's probably good to know that it can take a student more time to go through the tasks, because of course the terminology in English, is something that you have to know. However, we are very satisfied that the students also said that after they finishing the course, they knew and they received some new knowledge, which is the aim of our course. Of course, we have received some proposals from the students, and they go more in line that some of them felt the course was too long. Some of them wanted more tasks. So on the contrary, some have some proposals in terms of design, but also they found some typos. And so we will have to work through these proposals and to fine tune the course. They also mentioned, by the way, that the progress bars will have to be more visible on the e-learning platform, and we totally agree. Well, so this course is online, it's functional, it's accessible, free and open to everyone. And there are 3 easy steps how you assess this learning platform. First, you go to the ENCOURAGINGSUNRISE.eu and you go to the online platform Los Lobos. You register. Of course, you need a registration. You have to put your name in and email, because if you want to gain points, the system has to see your name. And then while you're registered, you are free to access modules and to come back anytime and to go through as many tasks as you want. So I'm coming to the end of my presentation, and in the end, I would like to summarize it by saying that we see this learning platform as a way to make the learning easier in furniture and wood professions, easier both for teacher and the trainer through digital tools. Certainly, it can be a self-standing course, but it is very well designed to complement the traditional course. And the elements can be used on demand by teacher if he decides to do so. They can be personalized, and as well as the training pathway is personalized. And everyone who is interested, whether it's a student or a early career specialist, or maybe an internship, the one who has an internship in the company, and the company wants to give an orientation and to give a quick tour through the furniture company. Anyone can use this tool. So it is also for us good for workplace-based learning. We encourage you to go to ENCOURAGINGSUNRISE.eu to register in the e-learning platform and to try it yourself.